It's loading. I'm just going to check. Okay, we're also live on YouTube now. Awesome.
Okay.
All right. Can you see the screen? Can you see the poster? Can you see yourself?
Yes, I
Everything good?
can. Yes,
All
I
right.
can. Beautiful.
Okay, take it away.
Very good. I'm waiting for guests to arrive. Okay, but let's
We
dive
can
right
give
in.
people 5 more minutes. I see people are
Yes, let's do
joining.
that.
One person has joined from
We have
YouTube,
music.
so I see that.
Okay. So let me
Put
check
your
that.
WhatsApp status, we are live, and put a link to the YouTube again.
I'm doing that, saying we are live. Okay.
Adding
Nice.
a little bit
Lovely
of background
background music.
music.
Nice. Okay, maybe we should just, dive right, should we wait for 1 more minute?
Yeah, 1 more minute. I'm trying to put it on my um, Instagram status as well. Okay, I think we can start.
By the way, I did send the email.
Okay.
Okay, let's
Perfect.
go. Let's go right. So hi everyone. My name is Olamide Akapu, and I'm really excited about today's webinar. It's really one that is dear to my heart, and my desire is for everybody to really have a good understanding of what it means to go from having a manuscript to having a published work that is out there in the world. And it takes a lot of dedication, a lot of knowledge and insights to knowing the steps that one should take to doing this. For me, I wear many hats. I'm a medical doctor. I'm also a writer and author. I consider myself to be a poet, and so I have a wonderful book here. It's called Echoes of Heaven that I wrote about 2 years ago now, and it was published by Householder Books. And so it's like a full circle moment, having this interview or webinar with Tolu Babarinde, the principal of Householder. So, welcoming everyone to this amazing occasion. Welcome to Emmanuel, joining us from Nigeria. And I'm just trying to check YouTube to see who is in the room. So, if you're watching me on YouTube, can you just share your name and where you're joining us from?
Yeah, I see there are 5 people watching.
Okay.
So I've sent a
So, there are
message
5 people
for people
watching.
to
Can you
join.
just, yes,
Oh,
can
we
you just
have
share your
Deborah.
location? Okay, I can see Mrs. Debola, the welcome, Ma. Thank you for joining this program. I can see Benga from Ireland. Awesome. Thank you.
Woo.
Good to have you join us this evening.
Yeah, awesome.
Amazing. All right. So, I would like to introduce my guests. And while I'm doing that, if you have any particular questions or, publishing myths that you want to debunk, or maybe things that you're just curious about, you can also drop it in the chat box while I do that. Okay.
Awesome. As you speak, I will also help
Okay.
you
So,
monitor the chat.
yeah, can you hear me? Am I audible?
Yes, you are now. Yeah. Little network glitch, but
Right.
you are
Thank you.
now.
All right. Thank you. Yeah. Thank you. So, Toluwanimi Babarinde is a visual storyteller and missionary creative. He trained as a physician and a public health specialist and coordinates large health interventions in the United States. He founded Householder Publishing to amplify fresh African voices and use creative tools to tell transformative stories that delight, inspire, and empower children and families. He has written several books and lives in Anderson, Nevada. So can we, give a virtual clap as we officially welcome Tulu on
Thank
board.
you. I'm excited. I'm happy to be
Awesome.
here. Yeah. Thank you everybody for joining. It feels good
Yeah,
when
and it's interesting
you,
that we have quite a lot of things. Yeah.
yeah, we do. We
Go
hope more
ahead.
people join. Yeah, I said it feels good when, you call a meeting and someone joins. So I'm excited about this.
Yeah,
Thanks
it's
for
very
putting this
encouraging.
together.
Yeah, you're welcome. And it's interesting that Tolu and I have a couple of things in common. We are both doctors, or we both trained as doctors, and we're both writers. But we have quite a number of things to that are not, gelling. Tolu is an amazing illustrator. I cannot draw to save my life. So thankful for the gifts that he is. So Tolu, let's dive right into this conversation. So you studied medicine. How does a medical doctor go from, treating patients to writing books and then having a whole publishing house? How does that work? Can you give us an insight into your journey?
Well, thank you for that. Exciting. It's an exciting journey. I've always said that the ups and the downs, the good and the bad, every part of a person's life makes up their story, right? So I always like to say that maybe medicine interrupted my creative journey because I've always been someone that loves to write and draw and tell stories, even from when I was a child. My earliest memories of doing that was when I was learning how to use the computer. I can't remember the year now. I was probably in primary school or maybe junior secondary. And my mom's friend taught us how to use the computer because she taught computer in school. And one of my first tasks when I figured out what Microsoft Word was to write a story. And then another friend of my mom said, "Oh, you should actually write stories that inspire people, that teach people things." And I was like, "Oh, yeah, I think I'm going to write stories that, teach people something." So I started writing stories, drawing, art class, fine art, things like that. So I've always done that. And even when I went to med school, I kept doing, creative things, writing. I was in the press club, both for the preclinical school. I was in the, anything that had to do with releasing my creative um, expression. I was always interested in that. So even after medicine, as I was figuring out my career path, which has led me into public health now. I kept doing that. So householder was a natural um, birthing out of everything that I was always passionate about, but extending that to other people as well to join my journey. So that's a brief summary of my journey.
Okay, amazing. So, how has the journey been so far? I mean, being an entrepreneur, starting something new in America for that matter, how easy was it to get into that publishing space, and what challenges did have to overcome?
Well, I'm thankful for where we are right now at Householder Publishing. I remember that the first book that we formally published at Householder was in 2014 or 15, and it was in Nigeria.
Wow.
So it was a different environment. So when I moved to the US, I knew that I wanted to do publishing, but it was not easy because I had to start from scratch, like literally from scratch. I have to navigate what does it mean to have a business? What does it mean to register your business and pay taxes and, you know,
Wow.
monitor everything going on? As a business that started with just one person, I had to be everything, right? The illustrator, the one doing the accounting, making sure that we're complying with the rules, making connection with authors, word of mouth promotion in a foreign land that I didn't even know anybody. Even printers, I had to look for printers online, those that are local, those that are not local. So it was both an exciting opportunity because there was a lot more connection here, you know, but it was also challenging because I knew
Yeah.
nobody. So I had to do everything from scratch. And I'm still in that process, right? Making connections, going for events, visiting bookstores, pitching our books to them. I'm really in the middle of that now, taking the next step. But it's been an interesting journey, though challenging, but I don't think I would love to do anything else apart from this. So yeah, exciting.
Wow. That's interesting. And authors like me are grateful that, I mean, you stuck to your guns and you stayed in the business so that people like us can have a voice. So thank you very much for that. As we're
Yes,
talking, I was
and
just reminded also of my journey. Uh,
mhm.
can you hear me? Yeah, on my
Yes, I
journey
can.
getting
Yes.
my first book published. I mean, it was fun, exciting, but also very challenging. And I think that's as with everything in life that we have to do. I mean, even despite the challenges that we face, we have to keep going and ensure that we get to the finish line. So thank you for modeling that to us. So now
You're
we'll talk
welcome.
models that are available, to us. I know that we have, three major models: the um, self-publishing model, the traditional model, and the hybrid model. So, could you speak into this model? Let's start with the self-publishing. It's becoming more popular now. People want to, publish their books on Amazon or release their books by themselves. Want to go through the process from start to finish without a third party. So, let's talk about self-publishing. What does that look like, and what are the pros and cons and things that every author should know before going for that?
Yes. Thank you for that question. I think I have a lot of I guess punchlines, private punchlines, because I only say this to people that approach me personally. One thing I tell people, authors that approach me for, oh, I'm excited about publishing a book, I tell them that yes, writing, no matter how long it took you to write your book, or no matter how long it took you to create what you're sharing with us, that is probably the easiest of the steps needed, right? Work starts
Right.
after writing the first draft. Like you have to edit, you have to figure out how you want to present it. Even after that, you now have to start. Okay, I want to publish. What should I do? What is the best for me? That is one thing I tell people. The writing piece is the easiest. Then the other thing I tell people about publishing is that for all the models of publishing, the pro is the con as well. And I would explain.
Wow.
So,
Okay.
yeah, the pro is the con as well. In a way, in a way, in a way. Okay, so you had talked about self-publishing. in the past, there used to be a lot of gatekeepers to publishing. Before Amazon became as ubiquitous as it is now, um, you had to go through hoops, right? Writing query letters. I'm sure many authors today may not even know what a query letter is. They probably don't realize that there's,
Mm,
someone called an agent who you write a query letter to ask them, okay, this is my idea. You send a synopsis of your work, and then if they like it, they take it on, and
mm,
then they help you pitch it to the big publishers. So that's traditional publishing. And what that simply means is that a publishing company takes your work because they like it, and they help you publish from the beginning to the end. You have input, but they have a lot of creative liberty on the direction of your work because they put in all the effort: illustration, editing, marketing, promotion. Now, maybe they don't do as much as they used to, but in the past, there was a whole lot that they did for the author. And usually, they have an agreement with the author that, oh, we either pay you an advance, which is an amount you pay the author for their work before the book gets published. And then there's royalties, which is like a percentage of, oh, for X number of books, we pay you X percent out of um, sales or the profit, as the case may be. So that's traditional. We have self-publishing that has really blown up now because of the ease to which you can publish books today. So that simply means that everything else that the publisher would have done for you, you do that yourself. So you write your book, maybe you find an editor or a friend who knows how to edit your book. You illustrate it yourself, or you hire an illustrator yourself. So you pay for each step of the way, or you find ways to do each of those steps. So you take on the risk, you take on the
that's
responsibility.
all. Are you still there?
Yes, I'm here. Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Okay. If you're in the chat, please let me know if you can still hear me. Okay, awesome, awesome. Okay, yes. So for self-publishing, okay, I think we lost our host, but once she joins, we'll add her back. So for self-publishing, the author is taking the risk and the responsibility as well. Welcome back,
Yeah.
Olamide. Okay.
Thank you. Good.
Okay, awesome. Yeah. So I was explaining self-publishing that unlike the traditional where the publisher takes a lot of the financial risk and sets up a lot of things for you, self-publishing generally involves the author taking responsibility for everything. So financially, you pay everybody you need to pay to be able to help you illustrate and edit your
Yeah.
book. You figure out how you want to publish it. There's a ton of resources out there that the author reads themselves, try to figure out, do I want to do digital publishing? Do I want to use Amazon? Do I want to use Ingram? Do I want to use, word of mouth? Do I want to print physical and digital? So you figure out everything yourself. The reason why I said the pro is the con is that you have creative liberty over your work, but at the same time, it's a lot of work that you have to do and a lot of money that you have to spend. So the pro is also the con in a way, right? And you also have to promote the book yourself, figure out how to talk to bookstores, figure out how to talk to event organizers, so that they can invite you to table at events and all that. Then hybrid is kind of like a mix of the two, where the author or the creator and the publisher, they have an agreement to, okay, we'll share the cost, we'll share the duties, and we'll find a way to work together. So hybrid is, it just depends on how you want to organize it. Some publishers will say, okay, we'll help you with the technical aspect, illustration, editing, but you are in charge of promoting your work yourself. Some will say, oh, we'll help you with press releases, we'll help you with social media, but you have to bring in some amount to help us to print copies. So it just depends on um, how the agreement is. But what I would say summarily is that the kind of model that a person um, wants to go would largely depend on what is your capacity,
Mhm.
what is your expertise, what is your budget,
Yeah.
what is your goal for your publishing. Do you have an audience already such that you can self-publish and still make your sales, or do you need help? So it's just being able to figure out on a case by case what works for you, that will make sure that you are rewarded for your
Mm.
effort. You also feel valued through the process as well.
Yeah. Yeah. Thank you so much for that. So like, do you have a personal favorite? I mean, I know you're on both sides. You're an author and you're also a publisher. So, as an author, which of this is your personal favorite?
Well, I was excited about self-publishing because it kind of opened the floodgates for people who would otherwise not have been able to share their voice to the public.
Mm,
I
right.
love the support that traditional gives, even though it's not easy to get to. Um, Hybrid is a mix of it, so I won't really
Hmm.
speak about hybrid so much. But what I would say is that I don't have a
Hmm.
favorite. I just feel like whatever you don't pay for financially, you probably will pay for it in effort and vice versa, right? So
Right.
I would advise, well, if I were to make a decision, I would look at what works for me. Do I have an audience? A person that has maybe 100K followers on Instagram, and the person is actively engaging them and has been providing value to them historically, if the person brings out a book, the person can successfully promote it very well and be able to sell the book to, if it's just if it's 10% of 100K, 10% of 100K is 10K. Even if it's 1% of 100K, that's 1,000 copies. That's a lot of sales that you can do for yourself. So a person that has such value add or and a platform can successfully self-publish or do hybrid
Mm,
where, okay, I don't know anything about editing or illustration. I just want to outsource that part and then give me my book, I'll sell it myself. So it depends on your platform, budget, your ability to stay true. Somebody that doesn't want to do social media so much, even though I would say that these days you have to promote your book. You have to kind of
yeah.
maybe do social media, but someone that doesn't really want to do that so much or is not chance, no time, you can hire somebody to help you. You can still self-publish and hire
Mm,
somebody to help you post and create content together. But I would say that you have to still be involved in the process. So it depends
yeah.
on the capacity, depends on the finances, depends on the goals that you want to have for your book. So I don't have a favorite summarily. It's whatever works for the
Okay.
author, what they should do. Yeah.
Yeah. And I think that another thing that would determine is really how conversant is one with the processes that would, you know, that entail in each model. I mean, for
Yeah.
example, self-publishing. Do you know how Amazon KDP works? You know the sites and other things that you need to do, the
Yeah.
requirements for your formatting and all of that. Can you do that on your own, all by
Yeah.
yourself? So I think it also depends on individuals' preference and competence to be able to put
Okay.
together a good work by themselves.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
So thank you
good
for
thing
sharing
with
that.
self-publishing,
Um,
the good thing with self-publishing is
Go
that
ahead.
you can probably hire someone to do those things. But the con in there is that when
Right.
you hire somebody to do those things, you have to still coordinate everybody you are bringing together, making sure that they do it well, right? So, like you said, there's pros and cons to everything. You just have to figure out the
Mm,
full picture of where you want to get to and what vehicle or what model will help you get there in the long term.
yeah, thank you. And I just want, you mentioned it in passing earlier, but I would like you to walk us through the steps that are involved in getting a book published. What are the steps from manuscript to the bookshelf? How does it go?
Okay. There are many models like we have described in the past few minutes, but I would say that generally it all starts with an idea or a passion. I love to tell stories. I love to tell stories about love, or I love to tell stories that inspire children, right? And then from that idea, you write a book. There's a lot of processes between the idea and the writing, but for the sake of time, you write a book. You have a full draft, right? Then you have to
Yeah.
take that draft from
Mm-hmm.
uh, first unpolished draft to a final draft. You need an editor, or you need some
Mm-hmm.
advanced readers to help you to, oh, this sounds good. Okay, change this. Okay, is there a flow in this scene? Okay, do we you want to rearrange the chapters? Like, so that there's a whole editing process that should take place. My challenge with many books that
Mm-hmm.
are being published today is that people don't edit anymore. They just write something and then they feel it's good. But as a writer, you fill in a lot of details in your head. You know where the character is, you created the character, but when somebody else is reading it, they don't know those details. So it's very important to give somebody else to read through without your input and give you feedback on how you can improve it. Because you are not the one reading your book. It's other people that are going to read your book, right? Now, from that editing process, depending on the kind of book, if there needs to be illustration, if there needs to be like a design process, what kind of book do you want? What specifications? Do you want art cover? Do you want soft cover? Do you want leather? Do you want foil stamping? So there's a lot that goes on into how do I present my book in a way that I love it and my readers will love it. So that whole process involves illustration, figuring out the format you want to present it as, and figuring out what will help you get there, right? So I'll put that under, design, illustration slash design. Then from there, you figured out all that. We move to the publishing stage where we are bringing all those ideas you have and your plan to a physical product that you can sell. I would say that throughout this whole process, from illustration to from idea to writing your first draft to editing to illustration and design, if applicable, you should be talking about your book. You should be promoting your book. You should be sharing some of the values or some of the resources that you have in the book, here and there. Have a book coming out. This is what it's about. Sharing some things that would add value to the lives of the people that are following you as your audience, right? So from publishing, then we
Right.
move to major like marketing and promotion, which is it has a start point, but it doesn't have an end point because once you start promoting your
Right.
book, you should continue to promote it. I would say that there is highs and lows. There are times when, oh, we're doing a lot, there's press release, there's social media blast, there's ads, there's giveaways, and there are times when you should continue to talk about it here and there at events you go to, places you go to. Then there's a process of like release and launch of the product, and then the next 100 years of your book, of promotion, of going for
Yeah.
events, of talking about your book, of forming relationships, adaptation of the book to movies. I mean, the possibilities are
Yeah.
endless
So
for that.
yeah, awesome. And other things like making merch, audiobook,
Yeah,
other
much
things that could
audiobook
come up.
courses,
Yeah.
and the reason
Yeah.
why I'm mentioning those specific things is that a lot of times many creators see it as, oh, I'm writing a book. But I like to tell people that you're offering value. You're sharing something valuable to people. So think beyond the book. Think beyond the life cycle of the book. Think beyond, the book to other things that can actually improve the value of the book or improve the value of what you are providing. So there's a lot of things you can do after you publish your book to continue to pass across the message you want to and even build up on your idea. Yeah.
Yeah. Awesome. That was a wonderful response. The other thing I want us to drill into this, different steps from conception of an idea. I think a lot of people struggle, myself inclusive, with putting together a draft. You know, sometimes we want things to be perfect. We want to have the whole book in like 1 month or 2 weeks, but it doesn't always work that way. So, what would you say to a first-time author, even a pro author who struggles with writer's block slash lack of inspiration slash whatever else you want to call it? some people, Tolu says he doesn't believe in writer's block. So let me just put that out there. So I want to speak to that. Please speak to that. What would you say to a writer who struggles with putting their work together to have that first draft? I want to write a book. I have a title in my head. I know what the book is going to be about, but putting together that work is a struggle. I've been on this for years. What do I do?
Okay. So I I would say that it starts from your bank, right? Think about it. If you have a large project idea, I want to build something, I want to make something, and you don't have money in the bank to set up the foundation, to hire the contractors, you'll probably be more frustrated than if you go into your bank account and you have like maybe 20 million and like, okay, yeah, we can start doing this. Money in the bank gives you ideas or makes things go a little bit smoothly. And I think it's the same thing with creativity. You need to have a bank of inspiration that is running consistently in your life. You need to have a practice. I call it, and this is not my term, I coined it from a book that I read. Your creative bank account. Do you have a creative bank account? Do you have something that inspires you? Do you have practices that help you remain, inspired, and and task your imagination? Maybe it's movies, maybe it's watching cartoons, maybe it's going to the park, taking time to read books. We as creators, we always have to continue to fill ourselves with sources of inspiration. See what others are doing. Let it inspire you. Think about your vision, what message you want to pass across. Share it on social media. Talk about it. I think that once you do that, um, you find yourself consistently being motivated to create things because you're seeing the beauty that is around you. You're seeing the importance of what you have to offer. You're seeing all that, right? And the other thing I would say is that when it now comes to writing your book, let your writing process or let your writing practice not be limited to, oh, I want to write a book, then I have to start writing. No, a lot of times we underestimate the power of small steps and we overestimate our capacity to crash through things that are big chunks, right? So I always advise creators and authors and illustrators, anybody, do small things, write every day. And I say write every day with a caveat, not that you have to write 7 pages every day. No. If a story comes to mind or a scene or an idea comes to mind, take 5, 10 minutes to write it out somewhere. I use my phone a lot. I have the notes app in my phone a lot. So anytime something comes to mind, I not only think about that thing for a moment, but I find out, oh, which of my ideas does this align to? And then I attach it to the folder. So I create folders for ideas, even the ideas that I'll probably never do anything about the next 10 years. I create folders or I create small, small things, different categories. So anytime something comes, I look at it, what does it apply to? And then I add it there and leave it. By the time I look back a week, I've written 3 pages of different projects. And it fills me with so much joy. I just can't explain how, but it just fills me with so much motivation that I'm not drawing from a blank. I'm not running on empty because there's a lot of things going on in my mind. I'm putting ideas down. Even if it's just an idea you wrote that day, it is progress. Even if it's half a page, think about it. You write half a page twice a week, just twice a week, half a page, just about 100 words twice a week. At the end of the year, you have 26 pages, 26 whole pages, 26 pages
Wow.
more than when you don't write anything because you don't have time, you're not waiting for the chunk of like 5 hours or your time off work to now block it out and write. Just that half a page twice a week adds up. So every little bit adds up. I don't believe in writer's block because I feel like writer's block often comes from lack of inspiration, which there's something you can do about it. Or you feel overwhelmed, which there's something you can do about it. Or you're super busy, you don't have time,
Right.
there's something you can do about it. So I feel like all the causes of writer's block can be addressed preemptively. And I have a busy schedule. I
Right.
have a full-time job. I have a family. I have a business. But I still find myself just saying one step at a time. Just write the little you can. Do the little you can today. Take it up tomorrow. By the time you look back, you have 6 months of work. And then it's easier to
Right.
package it together and release it to the world. Yeah. I have a lot more to say, but
Awesome.
I
Thank
think I'll stop from here.
that was a whole masterclass. I want to
Yeah.
see the virtual claps in the comments on YouTube. Um, for me, that has been my pattern actually, because putting together my book was like a compilation of poems I had written over 10 years. It wasn't a 1 year job. It came together in about a year or so, but then the work had been done over the years. And so I think that's a pattern that we can all produce. So let me ask everybody on YouTube: do you have a creative bank account? And what is in your
Yeah.
creative bank account? The thing is that the world is after your creativity. Is after, and if you're not careful, you just realize that I've not written in 6 months. I've not written a lyric or whatever it is you write, if it's music or art or poetry, whatever it is you do as a creative, if you don't pay attention to it on a daily basis or even a weekly basis or any form of reading to it, you find out that life has happened to you. And
Yeah.
you have to now then struggle to come back to that space of creating again. So if you are in that space, start today, tonight, start putting some creative juices in your account. So can I
Yeah.
have some thumbs up if you're going to start to do that? I'm looking I'm looking at the chat section.
Yeah. We have 8 people in the chat, so I think we should see a couple of thumbs up come up.
All right then. So the next step you mentioned from drafts is editing. And as an author and a writer, I mean, for me, that is one of the most frustrating parts of the process for me, because it's like somebody else has to scrutinize your work, scrutinize your English, your grammar, your punctuations, and in your head you're like, I'm tired of this process. I've had authors and writers come to tell me that I'm tired of editing and I just feel sick of my work. And it actually happened to me too, And so I think at the third editing process, I was at the third stage of editing. My book went through like 3 edits or 4. At the last stage or third stage, I told my publisher, I told him that I'm tired of this book. Is this book even good? Like, I'm tired of reading it.
Hey, I think I lost you.
Yeah, I'm back. Are you
You're
there?
back.
Did you
Okay,
hear my
awesome.
question?
No, I did not. Can you say it again?
Oh, apologies. I was talking about the editing part of the process. I mentioned how that as an author and a writer myself, that's one of the most frustrating parts for me, because it's like other people are now reading your work, scrutinizing your grammar, your punctuations, your use of language, and all of that. And it can get frustrating to the extent that you now start getting tired of reading your work. You feel like maybe it's not good enough and I should just stop where I am. So what would you say to writers who struggle with that editing part? And how can we work better with our editors so that we don't lose?
Yeah. So I would say that for the editing process, um, I think that it is good for every creator, every author to know that editing is not a negative scrutiny of your work. Editing is a process that would help you elevate what you've written and would help you present what you've written to your audience. So the editors are actually your cheerleaders. Think about it. They are editing your work because you have a piece of work that you've written. So I think every creator needs to be confident in the things that they have created. A lot of us struggle with imposter syndrome. Oh, I don't think it's good enough. Low self-respect,
Yeah.
whatever the case may be. But I need to say it today so that you can hear it from me as someone who has been on both sides and who will continue to be on both sides. You have created an amazing piece of work. Not perfect, yes, none of us is, but you have created an amazing piece of work, and your editor or whoever you've given it to is going to experience it the way your reader would experience it. So begin to see the outcome of the editing is meant to be in service of your work, to make it such that the reader is not wondering why did she write that, because you filled in the details in your mind and you didn't include it in your book,
Right.
right? So, and I always say, if you can detach yourself from the process of,
Mm,
with that understanding, detach yourself and embrace what they have to say as not an indictment on your own work. You have created a work. Nobody can take it away from you. They are helping you. So detach yourself from that process. If you need to step away from your book for a few weeks just to have a fresh mindset, do that. And one thing I would also say is that except you have an editor who is not working for you in service of your book, most of them are amenable to conversations. Talk to them. Oh, why did you think I should take
right.
this out? They would explain. They would explain to you, and then you figure it out together. What I tell my authors is that you have the final say. Editors know that you have
Mm,
the final say. They are there to help you, but you have the final say. You can have a conversation with them, talk about it, workshop the idea, turn it over, step away from it. There's no rush. Well, I think you shouldn't publish a book in a rush anyway, by default. So there's no rush.
right.
Step away from it, come back to it, figure it out together. At the end of the day, you have a golden piece that
Mm,
would blow your mind even more. I'm currently working with an author now on an exciting project, which I'm looking forward to sharing with you all soon. But me reading the work from the outside, you know, I I'm just amazed at how brilliantly they've put their thoughts together. Do you know what it takes for people to put their thoughts into words that others can read? Have you ever experienced a situation where someone is saying something and you're like, oh, that just puts to words what I've been thinking all this while? That is what you are doing for other people. You are putting words into paper. You are going a step further from the
mm,
thought. And that is a beautiful place to be. So don't be discouraged. Don't be worried about what their feedback will be. Embrace it, knowing that worst case scenario, you have the final say and you can say, oh, I don't think I'll take this, but receive it first and see what it will add as value to your book. Oh, we lost Olamide again. Hopefully she joins back again. While we are waiting, do you have any questions in the chat? Please ask any specific questions on the process of publishing. Um, I see a lot of good comments. Thank you all for responding, for sending your comments in the chat, for following along. For some of those quotes, I'll highlight some of those quotes. Emmanuel said, work starts after writing the first draft. That is absolutely true. Um, there's power in the small steps. Yes, that's Emmanuel again. Yes, when we're talking about creative bank accounts, Onikosola says we'll definitely create one now. Awesome, awesome. And then the beauty of baby steps. Welcome back. Welcome back. I was just highlighting some of the comments in the chat before you joined us again. Yeah.
right. Right. Thank you.
Awesome.
Thank you for that response. I think that was really helpful and very practical. For me, stepping away from my book at that time was really helpful for me. I mean, I tried to detach myself for like I think 2 months. But whatever it is, don't let it be too long. After between
Yeah.
the editing and all that, don't let it be too long before you go along to the next step. Okay, so now we
Mhm.
have a draft, and the next thing that we need to do, that's if you're doing the traditional publishing method, is that you need to find a publisher. So, what are the things that people need to look out for when choosing a publisher? When it comes to signing a contract, what are the things that we should pay attention to before we sign the dotted lines? I know I packed like two questions in one, but can you
Yeah.
just speak to that process of signing a
Yeah.
publisher and
Yeah.
yeah.
I would say that there is a process between finishing your book and finding a publisher. So there are different ways to find a publisher depending on the publisher's principle. So some will accept um, applications from authors directly. Some only go through literary agents. Some open up like a open submission for people to send, their summary of their book. So navigate that process, which is a whole thing that we probably will not talk about today. So now your question, when you get to the point where you are considering a publisher, you're in conversations with them. I think a few things I would say is that it's important for you to ensure that your work and your values fit with the publisher that is going to publish your work. And how do you know that? Through conversation. Don't be afraid to talk about it. Don't be afraid to understand their motivations. Don't be afraid to ask questions. Anything that is not clear to you about the process, about what they are doing, ask questions and ensure that you feel as though you connect, because the relationship
Mm.
can break down after publishing your book, where
Right.
you feel as though
Mm.
for whatever reason the relationship can break down. So it's very important for you to ensure that it's a publisher that you can stay with for a long time. You can break your contract,
Mm.
after a few years according to your agreement, but it's always good to get a good fit rather than having to break a contract because there's disagreement. So
Yeah.
ensure the good fit. Now, second thing is that it's important for you to clarify the expectations on both sides when you're about to have a deal or a contract with a publisher,
Mm.
because you need to know, what am I expected to do? Am I expected to promote this book? How am I expected to promote it? What am I bringing to the table? What are you bringing to the table? One of the major causes of breakdown in relationship between the publisher and the author is unrealistic expectations or mismatched
Right.
expectations that are not clarified. Somebody thinks that, oh, the publisher is taking, you know some authors have the idea that my publisher will do everything, but the publisher you are
Right.
talking with is an hybrid publisher. They are not doing everything. They are taking some, we are taking some.
Mm.
Some are expecting that, oh, my book will sell millions of copies. But the publisher is a publisher that is able to do so much, but they can't guarantee sales. You sell your book, your book sells itself. They will help you with the cover,
Mm.
designing, presenting it, promoting it, but you need to understand those things. There's so many factors that is important. Anything that is a question in your mind, put it out and be sure that you've clarified expectations as well. Three, ensure that the working relationship is such that you feel that your book is valued, right? And you feel that they are responsive. I know that there's a
Mm.
lot of things that goes on behind the scenes that makes people not communicate very clearly or promptly on both sides.
Right.
Sometimes, in the course of my work, I've had examples where I had to apologize that, oh, I think I wasn't very clear in my communication. I think I wasn't responsive, right? So it happens, but just ensure that you can feel valued and feel
Yeah.
rewarded and feel as though you're communicating with social all the steps of the way. So those like the top three from my experiences, yeah, so far.
Yeah, I absolutely agree with you. I mean, having that sense of, you know, being in sync with this person that I'm working with, I think is very important. To be comfortable with the publisher that you eventually choose to go with. Have that, understand their values, understand what they stand for as a company. Some publishers or publishing houses will tell you they don't publish Christian books, or they don't publish poetry. And I actually spoke to a publisher like that. They didn't understand my work, and I had to, find somebody else who understood my work. So it could be that serious and that important to even know what kind of books the publishing house does, what experience they have publishing your genre of, creativity or expressions. It's very important to note that my book is a Christian poetry book, and so they were like, which one is Christian poetry? You've not published this one before. So it was really, weird for them. I could have given up at that stage, like, who would ever believe in my book? But I'm glad I found a publishing house who could do that for me. So you need to find one that does whatever it is in them to do for you as well. So now let's talk about promoting our work.
We
We've
have some
gotten.
questions.
Oh, we have some questions. Let me check
Read
the
that before we move
chat.
on, or how do you want to do it?
All right. Okay. Yeah, we can do a pause and just answer the questions that we have. So
Okay.
the first question is from Show I know. Thank you for your question. She says, "How do you avoid doing business with the wrong people?" So, could you
Yes.
speak to
So
that?
that's a very good question. So I will pay attention to the word wrong and what does that mean. So um, wrong could be because there's no match between what they love to publish and what you are presenting. Like Olamide said, ensure that they understand your work. Um, when people approach me, I tell them this is what I do, this is my values, this is what I want to publish. So if you are doing something else, I may give you advice or consultation, but I will tell you upfront, this is not my forte. So I think it's important for you to ensure that they can publish what you want to publish. I think it's also
Mm-hmm.
important for you to see what they've done. It will give you an
Right.
idea of what they can do, what they've done. It will give you an idea of what they can do. It's important to talk to people that have published with them. Most authors
Mm,
that, I mean, except those that have an NDA or they have a clause where they can't talk about the things they've done, which is weird anyway. But most authors will be able to say, oh, this is the person that published for me. This is my agent. This is the illustrator. This person was nice. So they'll be able to give you an understanding of the relationship. I would also say that interview them, right? As much as the company you want to work with is interviewing you, ask them questions about themselves. Ask them about their culture. Ask them about the people that have worked with them. Let them send
right.
you examples, right? All that. So, I mean, I would say that it might be hard for you to figure out everything about the company that you're about to work with, but due diligence does help you to avoid a lot of problems
Right.
in some of the things I've talked about, right? So do your research very well. Don't rush into any agreement, don't rush into any contract, and
Mm.
take it with it. Yeah.
Yeah, thank you for that response. And I would just like to add that before signing any contract, you could also have a lawyer look over it, for you. Just be
Yes.
sure that you're not missing out anything. Read between the lines, read everything. And if you're not comfortable with anything in the contract, you can ask questions and you can, tell the publisher that, what, I think we can change this, or this or
Yes.
that. Yeah.
Yes.
So
I have worked
you
with
have to be
lawyers
comfortable as
before.
a creative.
Yes. I've worked with lawyers
Go
before.
ahead.
I've worked with lawyers before as clients. I've worked with clients who said, "Oh, I want to share with my lawyer." I'm like, "Yes, fine, please do." I always want people to know exactly what they are getting into. There have been, even with that, there's been a few times when, you know, one of my clients thought this was what I meant, and we had to go over it. They go, "This is what the contract says. This is what it means." Ensure that if you
Mm-hmm.
have a lawyer that's a friend, please show them your contract. That is the cheapest and best thing you can ever do, right? Show anybody that can review it, that has the knowledge, your contract. Yes. Before you sign, not after.
Yeah. Yeah, thank you for that pro tip. So Emmanuel Onimis is asking, thank you for the great conversation thus far. My question is, how does one get an ISBN for a publication, self or traditionally published? Okay, thank you for your question, Emmanuel. Over to you.
Okay. Yes. So ISBN stands for International Standard Book Number. If I'm not if I'm not mistaken, let me confirm. Yes, I got it right. International Standard Book Number. And that is like a DNA or a thumbprint, a unique identifier of your book. If you type your book, if you register your book properly, if you get a proper ISBN and you register your book properly, anywhere you type that book,
Mm-hmm.
that number, it will show your book. In Germany, in Australia, in the UK, it's an international standard, right? But ISBN is usually administered by the country where you publish your book. So if you are publishing in the US, your publisher will most likely get an ISBN from the US. There are agencies in each country that give ISBN to books, and it's in most countries that publish books. I've worked with ISBN in Canada, I've worked with the agency in the US, I've worked in Nigeria. In Nigeria, it is the National Library of Nigeria that issues the ISBN. So you have to show them your, I, as a publisher, I'll show them my letterhead. I would apply for the ISBN. I'll write the name of the book, the author of the book, you know, and all that. And I pay their fees depending on the country. And then they assign me the ISBN. Sometimes I have to send them a copy of the book itself, because they always like to know if you're just stacking the ISBNs or you actually have a book you want to publish. So I send them that, they send me the ISBN, and then I take it a step further. Um, you can register, you can create a barcode or a QR code from the ISBN, put it at the back of your book so that anybody that scans it, it will go to the listing of the book. Yeah, in the US, it's the same process. There's an agency that assigns the ISBN, you buy it from them. The different thing about the US that is a step further is that they have a national library. It's like the National Library of Nigeria, but in the US, it's called the National Library of Congress, where I can submit the book and send them a copy. So it's registered in the National Library as well. It's the same thing with Nigeria. You can send a copy to the library as well for them to add it into their catalog. So that is the simple description of an ISB, and it's unique and international. So anywhere it goes, it identifies your book. And if you are publishing different kinds of book, maybe you have a hardcover, you have a paperback, you get an ISBN for each format of your book. So one more thing to note. Thank you for the question, Emmanuel. Are you here? I think you're mute if you're trying
Okay.
to. Okay. Yeah. Can you hear me?
Okay. Thank you very much for that response, Emmanuel. I hope that answered your question. And sure, I hope your questions have been sorted out. If you have any further questions, you could also drop them in the chat. Okay, so I want to talk about my personal favorites. Well, it's not my favorite, but I think it's becoming my favorite now. The part about promoting your book and having a personal brand. So, what would you say to that author that is all about the creativity, all about the work, but feels very shy about talking about their work, publicity? What would you say to an author in that space? I'm shy. I don't want to talk on Instagram. I don't want to have a YouTube channel. I don't want to do all of those things, but I want my book to sell. How can you help
Well,
us?
I know that we all have um we all have horror stories, or maybe not horror stories. We all have experiences, or we all feel that we are overwhelmed by advertisements today. 2025, everybody is trying to sell you something. That is true. And that can be a little bit overwhelming, because you might be thinking that I'm going to become that person that is always trying to sell something. But I would
Yeah,
like to ask again that, think about the best things you've bought, you've purchased. Think about your favorite, your favorite book, your car, things you buy, your phone. You probably bought it because somebody talked about how good that thing was. You probably bought it because
right.
you watched and had like the seventh time, and you know, let me take a look at this phone. Let me see the features. And you started doing your research, right? So we can't get away from promoting our book. But I know that it's not always the natural expertise or skill of many creators. I would just like to say that I think it starts from your mindset. You need to begin to see your work as, I have created something valuable. Yes, in itself,
Right.
my book is valuable, but people need to perceive it as valuable for them to receive it, and then it will become helpful to them. And what will help you to make that happen is promoting your book, talking about it. I often ask people that, when was the last time you bought a book because you were so excited about Tyndale or Macmillan or Penguin Random House? No, you buy the book because you saw the author's name, or somebody told you about the author or the title of the book. So it's not about the publisher. It's about you valuing your book and then realizing that you can take a little step by step sharing your book with other people. So do you see your book as valuable? Do you want people to read the book? Do you want people to learn or grow better? Then you need to promote your book. But I would say in practice, start from where you are. Start from where you are. um Not everybody has the ability to post every day or post twice a day, but make a plan. What do you want to share about your book? What time do you have? What frequency would work for you? And how can you take it one step at a time? Leverage some of the tools available, video, um, um, all the social media tools. I would just say for social media, pick one or two that you know that you'll be consistent with, and just share, keep sharing, and don't put yourself under so much pressure. Keep thinking about, what can I do or what can I create that will promote my book, that would help people see the value of my book. Invite your friends too. If you have a book, for example, you can invite your friend to talk about your book and send you the video, and then you post it on your profile as well. So I would say start from where you are, take one step at a time, make a plan and see what is feasible for you, and start from there. And then you keep improving. One thing I would say also is that many of the connections that I've made, even as an author, was because I shared something and then somebody saw it and maybe connected to me, and then we started working together. Or maybe somebody saw it and requested. For example, I recently posted something about the importance of reading, and then I shared one of our newest books. I don't have a copy here now, but it's fine. And then somebody put it in the comment that, oh, this happened to my son as well. I love what you wrote. Let's talk. And then we sent each other DMs. Now I have somebody who is willing to review my book just because I shared something. So some of the connections you will make that will get you to where you want to go, to where, oh, everybody's reading your book. It starts from that small step that you are going to take that will make a connection to other steps. It's like a domino effect. Yes. So start from the first place and don't worry about what will come of it. Just share. Yeah.
Yeah, thank you very much, Tolu, for that. Don't underestimate the power of sharing. I mean, if we don't share our work, nobody would ever know about us or what we wrote. So don't be shy, don't hold back. Share your work with the world. I think
Yeah.
Tolu used that to jolt me to reality before my book was published. That you have to be out there. If you don't share your work, nobody will ever read it, and you want your book to sell, right? That's why you wrote the book, not just because you want to make money. Even though, I mean, that should be a natural outcome of writing a book and selling a book, but you want people to actually receive the value that you put together. You don't want the book to be hidden under a rock and left to die. You want the book to flourish. You want the book to go places. So you have to talk about it. And I think another thing that one can actually do is also leverage other people that have these skills. You can hire a social media influencer. You can hire a social media marketer. Is that what they call it now? I sound like
Yeah.
I sound like a millennial. Social
Yeah.
media marketer.
Yeah. Digital content
So
creator. There's so many resources, and
yeah,
the way
definitely.
social media is today, you have to be consistent. I've observed it. Some people get discouraged when you posted something yesterday and then a month later you posted something and why is nobody commenting? It's like, no, consistency brings the content to more people, right? And engagement, sending a question, asking, liking it, resharing people's comments, sharing other people's posts as well that apply to what you're doing, celebrating other people. So there's so many things. I mean, it's a whole session if you want to talk about social media, and I'm not the expert, so maybe you find someone. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you now. I couldn't hear you for a
Okay,
bit, but I can hear you now.
awesome. Yeah. Thanks for the
Yeah,
question.
and I'll just want to say one final thing on this promotion thing. You're welcome. Let's get over ourselves. Let's be honest with the fact that this is holding us back from being out there. Get over it already, and just do that one step at a time, baby step section.
Absolutely.
Let's take baby steps, okay? Yeah. So we've said a lot. We've said a lot during this webinar so far, and I want to know what to editing your manuscripts, to choosing a publisher, promoting your work. What's your takeaway? What's one thing that you're going to go with today from all that we have said? I think this has been a very valuable time. I have learned a lot from just listening to you speak. And I'm also going to do some things, from this. One of the things that stood out to me was taking baby steps. Start where you are and keep moving. Have a creative bank account. Yeah. Whatever that looks like for you. If you want to do it on your phone, or if you are the paper and journal person, whatever it is that looks like in your context. But that's one thing I'm going to take home with me today, having a creative bank. So, what is one thing you're taking home with you today? I'm looking at the comment section for your responses. Okay, I can see. Miko said something. She said, even the gospel won't be known if you don't share. Awesome. So,
I think we have some comments. Yeah. Have and invest in my creative bank. That's from Sharon. Thank you. There's a comment from Way Consola as well.
thank you. Okay, write daily.
Yeah,
Yes, yes, yes. I'm with you on that. Yeah.
yeah,
Okay, so we want to just do a few announcements right at this point. I think we're at the tail end of this amazing conversation. It has been awesome. I've had a wonderful time talking to you, Tolu. Thank you for the time, taking the time out this evening. So I want to know
me too.
about Householder Publishing. What projects, are you working on currently? Where can we get your books? Where can we
Yeah.
shop Householder books?
Yeah, also that books, I'm always excited as if you can't tell. I'm sure you can tell it whenever I talk about about publishing, about books, and because I've been blessed by books and resources that people have created as well. So also that publishing, we create books and interactive resources. So I put interactive resources there because we're also working on some videos, some games, and a
Ah,
few other
nice.
very interesting things, yeah, that are
Games.
coming
That's
up in the
interesting.
pipeline. Yeah,
Awesome.
and we create resources that empower children and also families as well. So we've done a number of books in the past. Um, Many of our books are on Amazon. We have a store, householderbooks.com, where we sell our books as well. Um, in the US, householderbooks.com, Amazon, everywhere for our books. We're trying to get more books on more international platforms, part of the working out the business piece. Also in Nigeria, we're excited about some bookstores that have shown us interest. So, Roving Heights, we have a couple of books in Roving Heights, Bookworm Cafe. We are making plans to reach out to more
Nice.
bookstores in Nigeria as well. I just wanted to show some of the books that we released this year. Binta's Hope, very exciting. Available in Woven Night, available at Latana Books as well, available on Amazon. We had Errand Stories from Yoruba Land. This one came out in February in the US, and it's also available in Nigeria at Woven Night as well. Echoes of Heaven. That is Olamide's book, the poetry book that she's been making reference to, available everywhere, Barnes and Noble, Rakuten, Books a Million, Amazon, Householder Books. We're also planning to get more copies into Nigeria as well. We have In Our Home, this is a board book for children and parents about family values. We have A Feast for Murphy. This is coming out as well this fall. Excited about that. We have Portraits of Africa. This is about celebrating people that have gone ahead of us in life, that are Africans that we can learn something from. Upcoming, we have Silly Stories. This is folklore inspired stories for everybody, children and adults actually. And then we have N is for Nigeria. This is celebrating Nigeria and the uniqueness of our country despite all the challenges that we have. So yeah, our books are available. The best way to get the information is just to follow us on Instagram. All the links are there to all the books and where you can find them. And our email, I'm going to put email in the chat. If you have questions, um, you can reach out. We may not respond immediately, but we will definitely respond as soon as we can. Yeah, so that is our soda books in summary. We are very excited about all that we are making and would love to have more people
Beautiful.
sharing this as
So,
well.
guys,
Are you there? I think I lost you a bit.
now, am I audible?
Yes, I can hear you now.
Am I audible now?
Yes, I can hear you now.
Hello?
Yes.
See, I was sharing my favorite thing about Outsourcer Publishing is the fact that this company is based on values, on Christian values, on family values, and you look for work or you partner with artists that write things in that direction. And another thing I love about also that is the fact that you also create culturally relevant work, things that remind us of our culture as Nigerians, as Africans. I think that's really beautiful and to be celebrated. So well done. Excited
Thank you.
about all the work that has been done at our school there. And to everybody in this webinar who is a children's author or a children's writer, if you write resources for children, please complete your manuscript, get your book edited, and submit to householder books so that you can get your work out there. I think that we need more amazing, clean, and amazing resources for children. It can never be enough. So, yeah, so do that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we are gradually running now to the end of the webinar. I wish we could go on forever, but we have to close eventually. I also want to talk about my work. This is my book, Echoes of Heaven. It is a. Can you see my book? Okay,
Are you
yes.
sharing?
So it's a.
I will share. Oh, yes.
Oh
We
yeah,
can see a little bit, but I would share it on the screen as well. Yeah.
right. Okay, so Echoes of Heaven is an illustrated collection of poems are wrapped around faith, love for country, conversations with God, whatever that looks like for you on your journey. I think that there's something for everybody in this book. So you can get a copy of the book on Amazon, or if you're in Nigeria, Ruby Nights. And you can also reach out to householderbooks.com if you'd like to partner with us to getting this book across the world. So it's a very inspirational book. People have said that it has encouraged them through tough seasons and gotten them out of some really, depressing seasons. So get one for yourself, your family, and let me know how you feel about the book on Amazon. Thank you all so very much for joining us tonight. You've been an amazing audience. Thank you for being responsive. Thank you, Mrs. Moody. Thank you, Tara. Thank you, Emmanuel. Thank you, Oyinkan. Thank you, Sean, for watching it. All right.
Yeah, thank you
So
all,
this
and
is
thank you,
where
Olamide,
we
for putting this
hang it
together.
tonight. I'm just happy that that's done. This took us about 4 months to put together,
I know, right?
but grateful that it became a reality. Thank God for that. All right, so can we have some music as we wrap up the the
Yes,
webinar?
let's have some music.
I'm hoping so many more. Yeah.
Thank you, everybody, for joining. Thank you.
Yay.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Please share the link to your friends. We're going to premiere this on YouTube. And share it to your friends. We'll catch up on what they I can't wait to know
Yeah.
how many books will be published just because we had this webinar. So everybody
Yeah.
here, we have 4 people at this time. Publish your book.
Awesome.
Get it out there. All right.
Awesome. Yeah. Have a good evening. A good weekend.
So I think this is where we hang it. All right. Yeah. All right. Till next time, everyone. Have a wonderful night, day, wherever it is you're joining us from. Till next time. See you at the next webinar. Bye for now.
Bye.
Thank you, Tolu. Thank you so much. This was very insightful.